Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We are here at Allagash Brewery in Portland, Maine for a day of crazy news, crazy activities. Portland Hearts of Pine have a coach.
We have the man up top.
Bobby. He's here.
And he's going to be joining this podcast at some point. So we're going to fly like the wind, in the wind, wherever you want to put it. And when he shows up, we're going to cut to him. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're pretty excited about this. We've got good beer. We've got good friends. We've got good times. I think we're going to focus on our impressions of the press event that we just witnessed. So depending on when that goes live, there's probably stuff going live right now through the social media channels. So people will have seen it, and we have a little film of it as well. But I was really impressed. I think Bobby talked a lot about connecting with players and a lot about connecting with the community, which is very much up our alley, for the Hearts and for Portland. So my first impression was really positive. Like, anybody not feel that way? I'm sure it's probably really cliche to say that, but you guys share that sentimentality.
Yeah, I would say I absolutely do. He gave a really good first impression, talked a lot about, off the bat local stuff that he's done 25 years ago working at USM, and now, seeing the USM men's soccer coach Jim Hopkins over to my left and in that pregame today, who was one of his captains in that 1999 year that he coached, here, big smile on his face.
Yeah.
And, it shows you what it means to people who, aren't in this group, the Dirigo Union, that know about this and know about this guy, are upbeat about it. And for somebody, that works in this field now, to see him and be this excited about it is kind of, a kickstart for me beyond liking him as a person in this press briefing. He did a fantastic job of talking about, really anything that he was asked, and made himself available to those questions, said whatever you want to ask, ask it, and let anyone stand up there and talk. And I think it worked wonders for, a first impression, in my opinion.
And I just want to quickly say huge shout out to Allagash for welcoming us
Allagash.
here. Just announced as the second brew partner here. And, we're live from the Cellars at Allagash, where the press conference was just held. The man, the myth, the legend, Bobby Murphy, is going to be joining us here right now, actually.
Let's make this happen.
Let's make it happen.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Welcome to the program. Our first coach, Bobby Murphy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't believe you're real, because we've been podcasting now to give you a little background without a coach, without a team, trying to build momentum here as a fan base, and you're kind of mythical at this point, your position. So we're pretty happy to have you. Thank you.
Disappoint.
Me too. No, just kidding.
We're very happy to have time for that. So
don't let us down.
I think the big thing folks are waiting to hear from you, and I know you just took a ton of time to answer questions from the media and are taking the time to sit down with us. What are you most looking forward to coming back to Portland and coming to the USL One and starting fresh?
yeah, and I think.
Coach, we're going to need you a little closer.
Okay,
Sorry
how's
about
that?
That's perfect.
Here we go. It's
Thank
like
you.
Meet the Press.
It's like Meet the Press.
No, I think it goes back to the idea of building something from scratch that people can be proud of. I think the game has grown so much since I left Portland, Maine 25 years ago, and to see that this city is like not only capable but eager and hungry and ready for its own pro franchise, I think is pro club is super exciting. And I'm just excited to, my goal is just to make everybody proud, and give you guys something to cheer about and sing about and get angry about and be sleepless over and, celebrate and all the range of emotions that come with being a supporter. It's not easy, and it takes a lot out of you. So, but that's what excites me.
How many supporter podcasts have you been on up to this point? Is it a big number?
No, 2 or 3.
We're honored to have you on your less than 5th
Yeah.
supporter podcast. There, we got him in early. Can I ask you a quick question? Because I thought one of the most interesting parts of the Q&A session that you did was talking about how you're excited to have players who essentially bleed for the badge. That it's a lot of person. You said you're in the people business. So how do you find that out quickly when you're starting a club from inception here as opposed to an established club with the Hearts of Pine? So what do you look for in a player that you need to do this quickly? I would assume, right? So it's going to be. What do you look for that makes them think they'd be the right fit for Portland personality-wise? Yeah,
I think there's data that we have that I have access to. That's not like a proprietary data.
It's tough, though, huh?
But you can see, okay, all right, against the ball, like he runs, he tackles, he puts a foot in. when he's on the field, his team, their XG goes up. Okay. Then you go, that's one filter. Then the next filter is the eye test, right? Where you watch video and you watch games, and, you don't just watch goals from forwards, right? As important as that is, you watch how aggressive they are against the ball. You don't just watch center backs and their passing, because we all get enamored with, can he break a line with a pass? But how well does he recover, right? How well can he head it? Those, can he see danger, recognize danger, and snuff out danger? And then once you've gotten to that point and you think, this kid's maybe worth it, then you sit down with them and you have a chat. I was on the phone for 45 minutes last night with a young man, who's dying to come here and may very well end up here. And, and then you really explain the project to him, and you explain really honestly about what we're trying to do here. And you'd be surprised. I don't think you'd be surprised, but I think it's not lost on kids, right? That they want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, right? That's why people play team sports. That's why people join fraternities. That's why you guys have created, the supporters group. There's something, right? And so to be in USL One and to be a part of something bigger than yourself is hugely, hugely attractive to these young men, right? That they're like, they're used to playing in front of 1,000 people, and to find out that there's, over 3,000 season tickets sold, like their heads almost explode, right? And the merchandise sales and the jersey reveal is sold out, and all these positive things that are coming, like players, like this is going to be, if we do this right, and then I say we, but all of us, but me primarily, right? This is going to be a destination spot for players in this league.
Amen.
And so that's what we're trying to do.
That is so exciting to hear you say that.
That's a long-winded answer.
No, I love that answer. Thank you.
Coach, I got a quick question, kind of segueing over into, how you see the fan base developing. You mentioned that there's been over 3,000 season tickets sold. For you as a coach and from the player's perspective, what do you kind of want out of the fan base? What do you want it to look like on match day? How can we support the team as fans?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with really foundational things, like let's be proud of who and what we are, right? Let's know who and what we're about. The same thing with the players, but let's know who and what we are, and let's not back down from that. Let's not apologize for it, and let's go be the best version of that we can be. And if that's, singing and carrying on and flares and all that stuff that comes with it, then great. If it's recognizing we're down a goal and, the guys need a lift, that you guys provide the lift, right? It's a symbiotic relationship. There's times where the crowd's sort of dead and the players have to give the fans a lift, right? And there's times where the players are struggling for whatever reason, and the fans need to recognize that, hopefully, and give them a lift. And so, yeah, then it becomes just sort of one living thing. That's what a club is. And so, I think let's be us.
Love it. Spencer, you're dying over there you might even be on camera, so go ahead, do your thing.
What do you think of the crest?
I love the crest. It's and it's very popular. Like, people all over the place are loving this thing. So, and then when they do a little bit of research and learn about the history and the heart and what that came from, it just adds another layer of this is well thought out.
One thing I can say about the heart part, when this guy was doing it, they would get it up on the top of the highest buildings in Portland. This heart would show up everywhere.
I heard Banksy stole all his ideas from him. So.
That's right. That's right.
Just like Portland stole all of our traditions from us.
Did you hear about the hearts organically? What was your? I'm sure you probably did. What was your first impression when? How'd you come across this? Just the launch of it, and I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I heard about it, and you're like, is it ready for it? But you think if you think USL One in smaller markets, right, population size for a club, you think, okay, I could see that. You know what I mean? If it continued to grow and develop, and then, my talks with the club started with a consultant that they had hired, had reached out to me, and he and I had a long talk, and Gabe and me and some of the owners had long talks, and then we sort of drifted apart, and then started talking again, and I came up for 2 days and was sold on the project. So, a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited.
So
You're
we don't want to take up all your time. It's day one.
I do. Mitch doesn't. I do.
But,
Sorry, guys.
I got nothing to do. So.
I got one last non-soccer related question where you do have kind of New England roots. Where does your allegiance lie between a lobster bake or a hot dog and bean supper?
Take your time if you need it.
Yeah, no. Listen. When it comes to that stuff, I'm pretty ignorant. So I'm going to have to try them out both and see how it goes.
I think the lobster bake's the correct answer, Mitchell.
Yeah, I also think that's true.
I don't want to offend the hot dog people.
It's early days. You don't
Yeah.
want to get into controversy.
Wait. Hold on. This is the.
I don't want to wade into uncharted hot dog water.
I think this is
dirty
actually
hot dog water.
the first question Coach has dodged on an interview.
You
I
know
think
what?
we just said it.
I think we're the guys.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah,
Well, we appreciate you, Bobby.
Thank you so much,
for
Coach.
hopping
my
on.
pleasure. Yeah, anything I can do to help, let me know.
And,
Congratulations.
we are so excited to see what you bring
Thank you
to
for
Portland in
picking
the spring.
Portland Hearts of Pine.
No, I'm not sure. They chose me. So,
Go have a bean supper.
all right. Yeah, we'll go find one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
No, that was awesome.
Find some out.
Thank you, Coach Bobby
I just-
Murphy.
Didn't want to hold him too long, you know?
No. I
There's
think it was
plenty
good.
of opportunities.
I'm glad
right?
that you had the sense that I would have kept him here for an hour. But no, I mean, he's been giving interviews, and
Yeah.
that's a lot. But that is so awesome. He decided, so if you're listening to this, Coach, thank you so much for sitting down, taking the time
Thank
to
you,
sit with
Bobby.
the union. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Hearts of Pine, for having us here today, and also just making everything so accessible
Yeah.
to the union. It makes a huge difference, and it means the world to us. So, yeah, let's keep going. I mean, that was awesome to have him to get some little bit more clarity on some of those questions. I think he elaborated on some of the stuff he talked about
Yep.
with the group. Mitchell, I don't think we heard from you yet about your impression of the press event.
I'm
before.
elated.
Yeah.
I'm elated. You know,
That's your elated face, I can tell.
I do a good job of wearing my emotions on my face. No, it's been stressful, like
Thanks, Spencer.
Thank you, Spencer.
See you later, Spencer. Appreciate it.
no, I just it's kind of hard to process, right? We've been working on this for so long, and
All of a sudden, it is super real.
Yep.
it's jumped from DEFCON 1 to DEFCON 3 very quickly, and in the next 7 days it's going to be DEFCON 5 when we get the kit. What we're
Yeah.
actually going to be seeing the guys that Bobby brings in wearing in the spring. And I think it's so important for people to get ahead of the curve. This is real. We have a phenomenal manager with New England roots that has been tapped by Gabe and the founders of this club to come in and be the inaugural face of an organization. He has a clean slate. He has a winning reputation, bringing MLS Next, a Pro Next club to the semifinals last year.
What club was that? Real quick, like
St. Louis.
That was St. Louis City.
I'm just
2.
saying. I remember, but just for the sake of anybody
St.
listening,
Louis.
let's be
And-
informative.
and,
St. Louis 2, so an MLS
Yep.
Next, an MLS
And-
2 level team.
And he did coach previously in the USL. He was an
Uh,
assistant coach with Union Omaha
There
the
you
year
go.
they won the championship.
And he has some New England roots. He said he may have played in Fitzpatrick Stadium in the past, he thinks, when it was grass.
So this is very real. I think it's a great appointment out of the gate. I'm very excited to see what he actually brings to the table. Those first couple of big moves that we invest in, and I do appreciate his his hammering home of the importance of patience too during the press conference. For
That's a
those
good
of you
point.
that see it before we release the episode. He talks about it's important to be patient. You said, we kind of want to act quickly, like all these things are going to fall into place when he was talking with us. But when it comes to patience and picking the right guys that are going to put everything on the line for this club and give back to what has already been built is a phenomenal, feeling leaving that press conference and that first interaction. we had
One
with
thing
him.
he said that I loved, and I was going to ask him, but then when you so politely told him he could leave, Mitchell, I was going to ask him to elaborate a little bit. He said, this is quickly becoming, this being Portland and the Hearts of Pine project, this is quickly becoming a place players really want to come play. Yeah. That is so awesome because we assume that and we think that, but he's hearing it. He just told us. He said he's been on the phone with a player for 45 minutes, right? So that just really excites me. And that's a reward. That's got to be a reward for the Hearts. I'm sure they know that, but just to hear it and how to hear it from the horse's mouth, really, as him representing the club, that players want to come here is so exciting. Why wouldn't they? I just can't wait till somebody scores a 90th minute winner and jumps over there in the supporter stand, makes his way into the crowd. Like that's the moment I'm living for.
What do you guys think about the other news we got today about the open tryouts?
Is that new? I guess it's official
It
confirmation.
was official confirmation.
confirmation.
There was a date that came out too.
Do you remember the date?
I'm looking for it right
Good
now.
for you. Good for you. I think it's fabulous. I think I would reiterate what he said up there that and somebody from the press asked him. They said, "Hey, is this realistic? Teams have open tryouts all the time." And he said, "Absolutely." Bobby said, "Absolutely." So that's a good thing to know. A good thing to know that the club thinks that's important. I suspected that was going to be important to them all along. So having somebody local would mean a lot.
Yeah.
And also, like he said, Maine's developed a lot. You've got a lot of programs now. You've got up and down the coast. We know about Seacoast. We know about some others as well. So I guess it wasn't in doubt. I figured they would be having open tryouts, but it's good to have a date.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty cold.
So it's going to be December 7th is going to be Mainer Day. That's when they're going to do open tryouts. It says here in the press
Did they
release.
call it Mainer Day?
Yep, it's going to be called Mainer Day.
Cool. All this stuff is happening live is where there's merch dropping, there's articles coming out. This is what we live for, people.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's time.
It is. So the following weekend after they do this Mainer Day, they're going to do eligible player tryouts. So I presume it's going to be you go to open player day. If you make the cut, you come back the following weekends, and then they run it again. It says
Is this
here,
going to be open to people go watch, you think?
That's a great question.
And where's it going to be?
Hopefully. That's another good question.
Because I'd love to show up there and interview some players and people. Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be really fun.
It's going to take place at Falmouth High School.
Okay.
So that's what we
Okay.
know.
Yeah, because the turf's gonna be ripped
Yeah,
up by then.
that's a good place to play.
So show up to be on the podcast and try out if you want to.
Yeah, Bass. I think Bobby said something about needing your 40-yard knuckler,
I want to see it.
bringing that out of retirement.
hey, you know where I'm not hard to find.
I just watched Mighty Ducks with my kids. So,
I got to bring it to
The knuckle
KP
puck.
first.
yeah, man, I'm thrilled. I think I would love to attend. I think I hope we get a local or two. And that doesn't necessarily mean a local's going to show up through the tryout, through that.
Yeah.
But that would be an amazing story.
I mean, it's happened locally too. Like you look back recently with the Hart brothers and the Maine Mariners. The soccer community already has an established USL program with Seacoast, so I find it almost easier for kids in Maine to get involved with Hearts of Pine when they become that age or go to that open tryout. I think the soccer culture here is a lot stronger, and we're going to see a few more names.
I think
and,
so, too.
Just one or two that might crop up at other sport levels. Like you look at Cooper Flag with basketball, like that's a generational talent coming out of Maine for the first time since the 80s, realistically. So it's special. It's special that he has those New England roots. He knows the culture here. He knows the brand identity that's been established, and he's looking to implement some pretty hard-nosed tactics.
Yeah. Do you think we're seeing, we're reaping the benefits of a guy like Gabe being the one who starts a club because he played soccer at Yarmouth, or I think it was Yarmouth, right? Yarmouth High School?
I don't remember what high school. I know he played in the USL One too.
But I thought he
for a
played high
year.
school soccer.
Played high school soccer. He played college soccer at Dartmouth, I'm pretty sure.
No, for sure, Dartmouth.
Yep.
He was a captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, get him on. But I'm just thinking that's a dream, right? That he's been able to launch this. And if he had that experience, you got to wonder, is he providing something he wished, a channel or an avenue that he wished was available to him at the time? And
Well, I think
that's the
it's-
best thing to
yeah.
happen.
I think it's best that we have someone like him in this founding group of owners, because you see some clubs launching recently without soccer people involved. A certain women's team down in Boston, to name one, and you see there have been some missteps when
Yeah.
they've gone to launch the brand and different things. So
Yeah.
I think having soccer people involved in your ownership group shows one, how serious they are about this team, and then two, for someone like Gabe, I mean this is a passion project, a real thing he's wanted. He's put literally his whole heart into.
Well,
for
it comes
years.
across immediately.
Yeah, it does.
And he's got that experience. That's where I was going with that, just thinking. I thought he played there, and I should know that for sure for doing a podcast, so I apologize if I'm incorrect. But I think that's really good perspective that he has for planning this stuff out. And it's no surprise to me that they're doing an open tryout. So, it's so cool. And
First
also,
impressions,
you,
very good.
Yeah, first impressions, very good. And just real quick, you did a shout out to Allagash, but I think days after we did our last podcast, Allagash was announced as an official founding partner. So that's very cool. So we've got three founding partners. The first was Bissell, another brewery. There was Visit Maine or Maine Tourism, Office of Maine Tourism, I think is the official, right? And then Allagash Brewing. So it's going to be one of those three. We're thinking next week when we get on the 21st.
Maybe.
It could be somebody else
Yeah,
be an announcement
we're just a
for
week
the
away
the shirt
from kids.
sponsor.
We're
Seeing
gonna
the
be
whole kit,
we're gonna
yeah.
be doing a ton of content at the kit reveal. Going in early, getting fan reactions to that as well. Hopefully, we'll see Bobby kicking around. Maybe he'll suit up. Who knows? I'm just excited to get my hands on the kit. And
Did you order a long? I want to hear from everybody. Did everybody get a kit?
Yep.
I got both.
I got 2.
I know you ordered 2. I'm not going to go there. Every week you make me go there, but
We're calling it back to episode 3 when I hit that football bet. I put aside my season ticket money and my kit money. They released a long sleeve and a short sleeve. It was $50 more than what I had set aside to get both. So I said, boy math, $50. I get 2 kits.
I've never heard boy math ever used.
You're welcome.
are you going to cut them down the middle and like sew them together? You have no sleeve on the left
Yeah.
and a sleeve on the right.
I think I might eventually put the long sleeve in like a shadow box.
I went long sleeve. I've always been a sucker for long sleeve kits.
I regret
And it's going to
not
be
going with
cold.
long sleeve. I think,
right?
I think I regret
because guess
doing
what?
it.
You can roll them up. You ruin the shirt,
Yeah.
but once you start rolling up your
Yeah.
sleeves, it becomes a rolled up shirt.
Yeah.
You know, but
Gambling
you regret
man.
it.
Maybe I need to get a third kit. I don't know.
Well, I will. I'm sure I'll buy an away/third kit version or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe that's next week.
I
Can you
know.
believe this? It's happening.
Next week.
All
next
this
week,
stuff
yeah.
is happening. We have a coach. We have a coach.
You just met him.
We just met him.
I know, we just
He
met
was
him.
on the podcast.
Hard to believe.
We were invited to a legitimate press conference. Isn't that interesting?
I think we gave him.
did a news
Yeah,
interview.
and I think we gave him his first sit down
Yeah.
in front of a microphone. He dodged a question. I mean, my life's complete right now. I'm pretty
I
happy.
thought that was going to be a layup, man.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't. But
It is a controversial question, I suppose. You know.
nah.
Lobster bake.
I think it's lobster bake.
Don't
Mitchell.
no more lobster bake. He's going bean supper.
Lobster bake.
Lobster bake.
Up.
Oh,
Takes
oh.
it.
Don't you not like shellfish?
Growing up, I didn't.
If you're
but it-
allergic and you still
No,
pick that
no.
option, that does not say
I'm
much
not-
for the
I'm
bean
not-
supper, my friend.
I'm not allergic. I was a very picky eater growing up, but like both sides of my family, they were very different. One came from Portugal and Ireland. The other side is very French Canadian English. So the French Canadian English side was the bean supper side, but they also did lobster bakes on the coast because I had family in Trenton. So that was the one constant was lobster when we had family reunions on either side, and I always went for the mac and cheese, and that was it. So as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate a good lobster bake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good. Were there any? You
gotta
guys want to
stand.
elaborate any of his responses?
I went into the wrong door when I got
stick out
here.
to you guys.
Yeah, so one thing I thought was interesting. So one of the questions we asked as a podcast during the press conference was, are there any specific international leagues that you look at to bring players in? And he gave a very long response, which was very helpful,
Pretty
very,
detailed.
very, very detailed about how we should be looking at value players, really at any league that provides value.
Caribbean was his number one.
He said Caribbean first. I thought that was interesting. The other one I thought was interesting is that he specifically said the Northern Irish
did.
leagues, which is interesting. I follow Northern Irish football, so that's an interesting league to look at. You know, it is very comparable to the USL One. So
What were the three he named? He said Caribbean.
Said
he
Caribbean.
said lower league England.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And
then
then
Northern Ireland.
yeah,
That's a pretty cool answer.
yeah, very, very.
I mean,
it'll be interesting to
makes
see
sense.
what happens. You know, if we end up getting players from those regions, or if suddenly we hear a coach is going on a scouting trip, you know, to either Barbados or over to Northern Ireland. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd come in a
Belfast.
couple minutes late, and it was like one of the first questions I had really gotten to hear him answer. And the first thing that popped into my head, and it's always a funny thing to joke about in this sport, was, oh, he knows ball. Oh, he knows ball. This is good. This is good.
He's played FIFA before. It's like, this guy.
yeah.
That should have been a question. Like, what's your manager career?
Yeah.
What's your
Show
career
me your
mode
football
points
manager
record?
Yeah, when he said he was on the phone with a player for 45 minutes, it was actually for his 50-year football manager account.
Yeah, totally. Call that bluff.
But no, we're so excited for the future. This is a huge milestone for this club. We can't reiterate enough how fast it's going to come. We've been saying it for about 2-3 months now on our semi-regular podcast. It's going to come fast. Fast is here now. We have a manager. Next week is a kit. Players and schedule in the weeks following, and then before we know it, it's springtime, and we're watching them take the field at Fitzpatrick. Yeah. So for those of you that haven't gotten involved yet, want to be a part of it, sign up, become a member, be an FCOG original, join the wait list if you haven't already, and we'll see you at Fitzpatrick next year. I know that.
Amen. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Couple housekeeping things. I just wanted to give a shout out to Broadway Bowl for hosting us last Wednesday. We had a community night there. Great time.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a Wednesday night for families. It's tough, but huge showing of support.
I actually threw the ball down the lane.
I know,
my kids did it too.
I know Lawrence and Chris were bowling. Lawrence, watch out when he figures out his handicap. You're gonna want him on your bowling draft league. But no, it was just really cool to see people in a non-soccer setting, having some good food and hanging out. Next thing on the radar, we are going to be recording an episode with KP, but at the end of the month, November 30th at noon, we're having the Kennedy Park Fall Classic at Kennedy Park. Sign up. You can go onto the Kennedy Park Pickup Soccer Instagram, link in their bio to sign up your team.
I heard Bobby might be there, and he might be watching. So you never know.
Let's see if he'll play mid for me.
Yeah, that is the one thing I do want to see is some midfield control, but we can dissect that later. But yeah, November 30th, noon, Kennedy Park. We're co-hosting a tournament with Anthony Santi and the rest of Kennedy Park Pickup Soccer. They do a phenomenal job putting on some grassroots futsal games down there. If you want to be a volunteer, reach out. We can get you on the list. Or if you want to sign up a team, go right to the Kennedy Park Pickup Soccer Instagram bio, and you can sign up with the link in their bio.
Are we running a union team in that? What's the deal?
I haven't heard anything of a union team, so if Bass, you want to start that up, I would love to see that.
I know it has been suggested, it's been talked about, so if there are members of the community that do not have a team and want to come in, I think we're trying to put one together. So
you can join as a free agent too.
Yeah,
right?
you join as a free agent too, yeah. So
and it is completely free to enter.
And cool prizes, some union prizes, I believe, are on the possibility.
I don't know if we've mentioned what the prizes are, though.
Yeah, there are going to be prizes. I know it's still been in discussion with the Community Engagement Committee what those prizes are.
I know
gonna
what it
be.
is.
Oh,
look at this guy.
I know what it is.
Look at this co-chair
Where's
over here
Donald?
knowing what it is.
Mr. NDA over here.
No, I just don't know if Donald has told anybody. We're doing beanies, some Dirigo Union beanies.
Ooh.
Some beanies launched today. Some official union beanies, and they have the little ball.
No, hearts.
The hearts. No, I know, but now we got some competition.
Yeah, we do have some competition, but no, we're gonna dress out the winning team in some good winter hats.
Good.
And we're gonna have food on site, music, games, and just a good time.
Awesome.
I'm really looking forward to it. Soaking it in, and I'm really looking forward to sitting down with Ian and Zeke this weekend and learning a little bit more about their story, their connection to Kennedy Park, and getting a bigger deep dive into the local soccer scene.
Yeah. I'm just so excited to be here today. I feel so thankful that we were able to do this. Like you said, just to reiterate to Allagash and to the Hearts and to our new coach, and also thank you to all you guys who watch this, because you watch this and you share it, and the more that happens, the more we'll be able to do cool stuff like this and send us questions, and hopefully we can as we develop this podcast, we can represent a little bit of the fan base and get questions and be a channel for you guys to connect with the club. It was cool to me because somebody reached out to me personally and said they appreciated what we were doing because they don't live in this country. And that hit home a little bit because, I listen to podcasts, my Liverpool podcast, my other podcasts that are for other things, not just Liverpool, but a lot of them are in the UK. And it's like that makes me feel part of that community.
Absolutely.
So like that's what we would love to do is to continue to build this so it feels like you're sitting down at the table with us when you guys watch this and that you're here with us. So, help us build this. Thank you, share it. And thank you as well just for watching and being a part of this because we want to do more of this. We want to talk to coaches. We want to talk to the players. We want to talk to owners. We want to talk to other teams. We want to visit other supporters groups. We have plans for all that and to make it happen, but we get there quicker and more successfully the more you guys interact and share. So thank you.
I'm gonna throw in one more thing. Sorry to take away your sick outro. But in talking to Donald, if anyone that is watching has an idea of somewhere they'd like to get together with the Union to watch an away game next season, because there's half of the games are away. That's that's a big part of this thing.
It's true.
And we're all over the state. We're all over a bunch of places now. So if you are up north, down south, wherever, let us know where you'd like the Dirigo Union to watch a game together. And we're actively working on a list of away days, for next season that we can come vlog, do a live podcast to watch the game, and kind of grow this community out from the the southern Maine, the southern Maine circle that we do have, but it's a lot. It's about everyone. It's about getting out to these places, and it's about the hearts. And
this is a global club already.
Worldwide.
Yeah. And
we're gonna rock the boat.
To be fair, we've already started that. January 25th, we're going to be down in Dover, New Hampshire at the June Court Pub watching some Premier League action, a little test run on our away days. I know with the schedule looming, I am getting ready to plan my trip to the first match that the Hearts are playing on the road, and we're going to get on the train and head down to Dover and have a good away day. So if you want to be a part of that,
know what's coming.
you have no idea. But if you want to be a part of that, join the Dirigo Union at dirigounion.com. Give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, or X, as well as YouTube. Get access to the Discord and help us support this crazy little dream that we've been working on for 5 years and bringing pro soccer to Portland, Maine. It's the home stretch. We have a fucking coach. Excuse my language, but it needs to be said.
I think we'll give you the swear jar on that one.
This is real,
Up
ladies and
the
gentlemen.
fucking Hearts. Bye.
Without further ado, I'm excited to introduce our first ever head coach and sporting director, Bobby Murphy. First of all, thanks to ownership and Gabe for giving me this opportunity. This is a special moment for me. My family, my kids, they're thrilled to death. They're all grown adults, but they're thrilled to death. Listen, I'm humbled and I'm honored with this opportunity. To me, the relationship between a club and a community, I've seen it up close with previous clubs I've been at. That is a special bond, and that is a bond that, if done right, is unshakable. If that is a bond that, if done well, can accomplish things that nobody thought could be accomplished, both on the field and off the field. It can help people get through tough times, and you always have someone to celebrate good times with, whether that's on the field or off. And I think to have the opportunity to create that bond for somebody like me who has let's be honest, I have a really limited skill set to contribute to this world. I can coach soccer and that's about it. So this is my chance to do good and to give back and to hopefully build something that lasts well beyond me and my lifetime, that this club will be part of the fabric of this community for many, many years to come. And so I think, a great debt of gratitude goes to all the people behind the scenes who have laid the groundwork for years before I got here, who have built the momentum. That's ownership, that's boots on the ground, supporters, people who are ready for this. that's a lot of work that's gone into it, you know. And so now the challenge we have is to put a group of players on the field that make you all proud, and that's what we aim to do. Listen, I'm about people first, right? I want the right people. I've told ownership, I've told anyone who will listen, we will turn down good players. We will not have good players come to this club because they're not going to be the right players for this club, right? So not only does the soccer part take a huge part of it, the people part of it is really important, right? Do they buy into what we're trying to do here? Do they want to be a part of, you know, they don't get to just go home and shut this off, right? They're part of this community. And so, you know, I think it's not a matter of selling, right? Because I think in everyone I've spoken to, agents, players, this is now a really desirable destination for a lot of players, right? Already, all right? And so, yeah, it's just about getting the right personalities, the people who want to put the club first and not themselves, and are willing to put in an honest shift, and then we'll be all right. So, you know, I think when we discussed this, you know, in the process leading up to today, listen, we want this club to reflect the people that it plays for, right? These people, you all work hard for what you get. You're willing to put other people first. So stylistically, we want to reflect that, right? So my teams, if you look back, right, we're going to be on the front foot. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be willing to run and chase and press and counter press, and we may not keep it for 30 passes, but I'll let you know a little statistic that doesn't lead to goals, right? Effective possession leads to goals, and so it's what you have when you do it. And then you know, we just want. Listen, my old boss told me this, right? And I tell all my players this: when you walk out onto the field, find that person. It might be a kid, it might be a guy in a supporter's shirt with mustard and a beer from a hot dog, right? You owe it to those people to play as hard as if that person got one chance to play for the club. Every day you have to play that hard, whether it's training, games, whatever. That's you owe it to yourself and to the community to do that. So that's what we're going to do. We'll be honest, and we'll put in a shift, and we'll get after people. So. Yes.
Yeah, Kirk Roser with Knack Factory. Just curious, what's the process been like trying to get connected with this team and Gabe, and what has that been like, and why Portland, I guess is a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, you know, it was a long process. We danced, and then we split up, and then we danced again, and I think that process was best for both parties, right? You know, when we finally decided on this, I asked Gabe, you know, I'm an acquired taste, and he's like, yeah. Like the more we got to know each other, the more we liked each other, right? And I think that's important, right? I think when you're entering into something as serious as this, something that he's put his life into, he wants to make the right choice, and so hopefully, you know, I can live up to that. Tell me the second part of the question. Oh, why Portland?
Yeah, why Portland?
So I spent 10 years in New England. I finished school at what is now Southern New Hampshire University. My kids were all born in the White Mountain region of New Hampshire. I coached at USM for a season. I love this part of the world, and I think, but I guess the big question is why not Portland, Maine, right? Like why not? Like you've got a vibrant community, both the city and then, you know, expanding out to the rest of the state that really wants this. So let's give it to them. You know, so, and I've said it, you know, in previous interviews, for me, this feels like a community in search of a club, not a club in search of a community, right? And so if that's the case, then let's deliver it, and let's get after it. So that's why Portland, Maine. Yeah, yes.
Travis Lee, WMTW TV. Can you just give us, Gabe referenced an open tryout, but can you give us a rough timeline of roster construction and when you need to have everything done and what your goals are within that?
Yeah, so I think when you're dealing in USL, right, we all want a roster put together today, and we'd all like to have a team and like be able to announce everyone. That's just not the nature of the league, and that's not the nature of the business right now. We're being really patient. We're being really deliberate. I'm being very patient and deliberate with interviewing players, research, analytics, all those things to make sure we get the right guys and not impulse buying, right? So I suspect by the end of the year, we'll probably have a core group and then leave some space at the end because there's There's kids who will, I say kids, they're men, but players who will funnel down from MLS clubs who will need a club, come middle of January, and you want to make sure you have some space available for there. So what I can tell you is that it is ongoing, it's deliberate. We're trying to be as thoughtful as we can and make sure that we get the right guys, right? Because I was telling them, I woke up twice last night thinking I should be watching players, and I need to sign someone, and I don't. We need to be patient and make sure we do this right.
Follow up, an open tryout, a lot of organizations at this type of level will have that, and it ends up kind of being a gimmick. Is there a realistic chance that someone could make an impression in an open tryout on a spot?
100%. I mean, I think and I'm still learning, right? So forgive me, but right there's a growing soccer community in Maine. New Mainers, kids who were born here, it doesn't matter, right? Who there just hasn't been the opportunity for them to display and showcase. And so I fully expect, and is my hope, that we'll have, nothing makes a community happier than seeing one of their own. So if we can make that happen, we certainly will. And we won't do it as a gimmick. I won't do it as trying to get everybody on my side. But if they're good enough, then for sure we'd love to do that. So by no means is this just a dog and pony show. Like we're really, we from what I've heard, and I'm excited to see it. Like we believe in these kids, and we want to see how they do. So.
Is Gabe interested?
Gabe was, but he tweaked a hamstring yesterday, so he's out 6 weeks. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah. So Sean Tecco from the Blazing Musket. Nice talking to you, Coach. Any goals that you have for your team this year? First year starting in the league?
Yeah, I think we for sure want to be competitive. That means we want to make the playoffs, and once you get into the playoffs, then anything can happen. So I think that's the minimum, and hopefully we can do that. And then, as Gabe and I have talked, and I know from my experiences, and winning things is hard. It's so competitive, and you need a little bit of luck, and you need a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and so if we can get into the playoffs, and I back us, and see how we do. So, yes, back there.
Yeah, so you're coming from...
Tell me your name.
I'm Sarah with Knack Factory as well.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. You're coming from another USL League team, is that correct?
No, I was coming from MLS.
So
From St.
coming to
Louis.
this league specifically, as far as our biggest competition or other teams that are maybe brand new, just like the Hearts will be, what is your thinking as far as our place in this league?
Listen, I think USL is an interesting league because there aren't long-term contracts. Players are very transitive, and so there's a lot of turnover from year to year. So I give us as good a chance as anybody to be competitive, right? It's about recruitment. It's about getting the right people in. And so it's not the same as say, an NBA team or an NFL team or an NHL team getting an expansion team where everybody's got their players locked up, and it's just not the nature of the league. So really, I think we have a chance to be very competitive with anyone else.
Like, what do you see in your players?
The players that I want to recruit?
The players that you want to recruit. Like,
Yeah, so I think it goes back to like we want to mirror this community, right? We want people who are hardworking, who are put others first, who are willing to, I have a saying, right? And it's not my saying, but I use it. Selflessness is the highest form of selfishness. If you give and you give and you give, ultimately you will get back, right? And so if we sign players who all will want their own things, but they're willing to give and give and give for the name on the front of the shirt, then eventually they'll sing the name of the guy on the back of the shirt. And so that's what we're after, right? We want guys who are willing to put the club first, put the community first, and can play and make everybody happy. Does that answer your question?
It does, perfect.
All right, great.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of bringing a staff in now. I'm interviewing people. I've got people I know who would like to come. I think it's the same as the players, finding the right fit of people. And in USL, you've got to wear many hats at times, and so I've got to find guys with multiple skill sets who can, obviously you'll have a dedicated goalkeeper coach, but if he can do like videos, just other things, right? So it's making sure that all of our skill sets sort of overlap and mesh together seamlessly. And so that's an ongoing thing, and it's just like the players. I don't want to rush into bringing in the wrong people. So being patient with that as well. But
You
it's
anticipate a goalkeeper coach plus one assistant?
plus one assistant, plus possibly, hopefully, a fitness coach. So that would be, you know, if we can get a staff of 4, that would be great. And then we'll obviously have a medical staff that's provided and things like that. But yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
As far as the future of what Fitzpatrick is due to be, I don't know if you've seen renderings or anything, but compared to other stadiums and other fields you play on, what do you think about the facilities you're being offered?
Yeah, no, I think Fitzpatrick, I think it's a pretty remarkable place. I seem to think I played there in the 1994 when the New Hampshire Phantoms, who I played for, played against the Cape Cod Crusaders. You're nodding like you were there. Oh, okay. It was grass then, right? But I think you know, I think it's a perfect little stadium. I think the location is perfect. I think the accessibility to people is perfect. I think the fact that it sits down and the crowd is up above a little bit and that noise filters down is perfect. You know, I think it just has all the makings of being a really, really exciting venue. And hopefully, you know, something that's part of a people's night out and not their whole night out, you know, so they can come and enjoy the game and be at the park across the street and tailgate and come across and get rowdy. Yes, he's back.
Yes, I am. Coach, about half of the USL League One players this season were they were non-domestic players, they were national players. I'm curious, is there a foreign league you look at and say that is a great proving ground to find players and bring them into the league?
I think what you do is you look for value. Where can you get value? So I think if you can get the right kids, the Caribbean provides value, right? The Caribbean. I think the lower leagues in England provide value. I think the league, Northern Irish League, provides value, right? Then I think there's other like South American, Central American leagues that provide value. But at the same time, you know, you want these players to know what they're getting into. You know, you want players culturally who can assimilate and adapt and feel at home here. And it's, you know, I've been through situations where you bring players in, and if they're not supported the right way, they can really struggle, you know, because the language, the food, you know, all those little things which we all think we just get on with, they mean a lot to people, and so it can be difficult. So that's part of the vetting process when we look at foreign versus domestic players. Have they been here in the U.S. before? If we're bringing them straight over, like, are we prepared as a club to support them in the right way? So that we can make their transition as smooth as possible, and they can play their best, because they all want to play their best, right? But as we all know, like, if something's not going right at home, it affects our day job, you know, and so then it's the same thing with players. So we want to make sure that we're prepared to do that. Yes. Tell me your name.
Mitchell Ketchen.
Hi, Mitchell.
Co-chair of the Diego Union Supporters Group.
Well, thank you for everything.
And my question is, how do you, come into this role, 25 years from your stint at the University of Southern Maine, and obviously garnering a lot of knowledge of coaching. What are you looking most forward to in the transition from MLS Next Pro to the USL One?
Yeah, I think, and I don't want to get emotional, right? But I'm in my mid-50s. I'm proud of what I've done. I've raised 3 kids. I've had a good career, right? I think what I was searching for in my next product is how do I provide the most value and give back to people, right? And that may sound hokey and corny, but it's the truth. As I said in my opening statement, the bond between club and community is wonderful, and if you're not a soccer supporter, they don't understand it, right? But soccer people get it. The tribalism, we'll fight you in the parking lot mentality, right? Right? And to give that to a community and a state and a city that really is eager for it, I take that responsibility really seriously. I am humbled by it. I want to give you guys the best club, from whether on the field, off the field, everything. So, when I came here, that was my motivation, and that's my single motivation. I'm still competitive as hell. I still want to win, right? But if I can do it the right way and make you guys wear that scarf proudly, and people see me in the coffee shop and want to give me a hard time about what I did on Saturday night, or want to sit down and talk, right? That's what we're here for. right? And so, that coming back to USL 1, I think the league has gotten better from when I was there 2 years ago with Omaha. I think the league is on the rise, but I think it's a challenge we can all meet and we can do well. So I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Steve Craig again with the Press Herald. Kind of to go off of what you just mentioned. I mean, 1999, you're probably about, 28, 29 years old. You're coaching a part-time job. What sort of core values do you still have from that time, and maybe how have you evolved from that early coaching career?
I don't know. Jim Hopkins is here. He could probably answer that. He played for me at Southern Maine. He's the coach there now. Listen, I think you always want players to do their best, and you always want what's best for players. At least I do. I think as a young coach, I may not have known how to do that. I think times have changed, players have changed, right? I think the old days of having a go at people just because doesn't register anymore. It doesn't work, and that may be for better or for worse. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because we're at where we're at. But I think what I still hold true to is that you want to just make sure at the end of the day you've given everything you can, right? And then the process will take care of itself, right? If you train hard every day and you do the right things and you pay attention to the details, all that stuff will pay off, right? There's no quick fixes. This isn't a transactional sort of situation, right? This is transformational, like day by day by day by day, right? We grind, and then Saturday you get to show off what you did. So, yeah, but I've learned a lot since I left here. I've learned a bunch. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've hopefully learned from those. I'll probably make some more, and hopefully I'll learn from those. I can guarantee I'll make some more, but yeah, but you just know that you're going to do them, and you accept them, and you take them for what they are, and you pick yourself up, and you move on. So,
actually, Jim Hopkins said that one thing was that you knew that I think it was Jim, or it might have been Andy Higgins, was that they knew you valued them more as a people, more as a person than a player.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Is that still consistent?
Yeah. I said at the beginning, I'm in the people business. You know what I mean? I think in this era of data and analytics and stuff, that's all useful information. But at the end of the day, my job is to try and get 20 grown men on the same page and get them to move forward. And I don't think I can do that without investing time in who they are and what their likes are and what their dislikes are and who their families are and what they do away from here. I still think at the end of the day, this is a people business. And yeah, and I love those guys, and I'm great. It's amazing, right? That I was there so short, and yet I'm still in touch with 4 or 5 of those guys from that team, and so that's pretty awesome. Do we need some more? Because I could use hot water. Are we good? All right. Hey, I'll be around. Please come say hi. Very grateful. All right. Thank you, guys.